This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that Hello everybody, and welcome back to the first video of September 2024. We're sat here around 5 p.m. on the said day, 2nd of September 2024. It's a Monday evening. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time to join me in this video. It's very much appreciated. What we've got coming up today is another Classic Watch 25 possible from Europe. It was also identified before it won first time out, and it has reinforced his case, rather like Henry Matisse did, with a pattern race win this time last week at the York Ebor Festival. But before I tell you about the horse, let's tell you where you'll be able to find all these horses. classicwatch25.great/site.net will be the place for all the horses. We've got a couple from Australia already on the YouTube channel. This will be the second from the UK. Obviously, the Australian 3-year-old season just getting underway. They're around the sprint distances. We had a race over 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds on Saturday, the up-and-coming stakes. So we're not far off maybe trying to identify some Australian horses, or maybe even both of ours will turn up. And we can get the site up and running with some horses. At the minute, it's just like a little placeholder, giving them all the instructions for people to head to the other site, rather than just leaving a blank screen. So, without further ado, let's talk about the horse. This horse here is already showing signs of becoming a typical Newman horse. I call them that over the years. They're always underestimated. They are very good, and they are always going off races at sort of prices that are very useful for people. People see the horse in question is the Lion in Winter, a rare Classic Watch candidate sired by Cedar Stars. Galileo's full brother, obviously a superb stallion, but I do feel that his progeny tend to take a bit more time than Galileo's did. 4 or 5 older horses, really, but still, Cedar Stars, absolutely magnificent racehorse and a good stallion. The Lion in Winter, sired by Aidan O'Brien and owned by the Coolmore Mafia. No Westerberg in this one again. Michael Tabor, Derek Smith and Mrs. John Magnier, sorry. And the Coolmore Mafia, as I said, bred by Sunderland Holding Incorporated, out of a dam called What a Home, who herself is sired by Lope de Vega, who is a dual classic winning stallion this year already out in France. People will see when I mean a Newman horse, it is not going off at short prices. 2 to 1 is the minimum I would suggest anybody should take. 2 to 1 is the new evens, really. If a horse is below 2 to 1, just leave it. And you see the horse managed to win at an incredible price, really, on debut. When they do that, then I know, really. I've looked at the pedigree of them all. Don't forget, before I look at the race, I know what I've got, and all it does is confirm what I thought I already knew. It won by 2 1/4 lengths on debut, running to a mark of 99, which is actually very good on debut, I think. And then just last week or the week before, it ran in the Group 3 Acomb Stakes at York, which is a totally remodelled race this year. They put the value up of it. They've relaxed the criteria to run in the race, and the Lion in Winter took out the race by 1 3/4 lengths, running to a mark of 111 on only his second start. I think we've got Henry Matisse at 110 after 4 starts. This one could be going all the way, boys and girls, is what I'm saying to you. It's by a stallion that I think is guaranteed. You saw how unlucky he was, really. He's a dual classic winner, I think, maybe even more than that, Cedar Stars. Yeah, this was a horse that could be destined for the very, very top. Will it remain a Newman horse all through its career? Will the controlled outlets really get a handle on it, push the price down? Well, it depends, doesn't it? There's a bit of a hype train, isn't there? And if this horse was to get on the hype train, then it would be very difficult. But You see the value is there for people that are good enough to spot the winners before they run on the course. And the value has certainly been there on the first 2 starts. Right, let's have a dive into the pedigree of the horse. The Lion in Winter, family line 7A. People will see that this horse is. I will highlight that, as I always do, just so everybody knows where to look on the pedigree query site for the dam line 7A. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look. Really, we're going to go back to African Dancer, who was foaled 51 years ago before me. Well, not 51 years ago before me. Before me, 51 years ago, because I was born in 1974. That's what I mean. I do make myself laugh in these videos. We're going to take a look at all 5 dams. We're going to get there gradually, slowly but surely. And then we're going to take a look at horses related to each dam as we go along the step back to African Dancer. And then we're going to take a look at the horse in action a couple of times in the video at the end. And then we will all be able to get on with our day. Right, this is quite a well-bred horse, this. You know, Inch Murrin is quite a key dam this year. I seem to have 3 or 4 buyer on the maybe list this year. So we could be revisiting this video in a few months' time if all goes to plan. There's actually another Inch Murrin in the ACOM Stakes. So this video, if that horse would have won, chances are it would have been similar but different, if that makes any sense. But the Lion in Winter was the one to win on the day. What a Home is the dam of the horse. Foaled in 2014, sired by Lope de Vega, as I said earlier, out of a dam called Inch Home. You'll see there really that What a Home was quite a consistent horse, finishing in the first 3 in 6 of her 9 starts and winning twice for £43,500 in Great Britain and France. Not top class. Managed to place in 2 pattern races, age 4. She was 3rd in the Group 3 Pinnacle Stakes at Haydock and also in the listed Preluth Enchante. I think that CLA is Clairefontaine. I'm going to take a guess at that. Black type producer, obviously, through the horse that we are looking at. A Lion in Winter. She's actually related to a couple of the horse that have has its own little branch going. People might remember these 2 horses. Venus de Milo is a mare foaled in 2010, sired by Duke of Marmalade, out of a dam called Inch Home again. Half sister to this horse, the dam of this. Venus de Milo was a bit more prolific at a high level, winning 4 of her 12 starts, finishing in the first 3 in 8 of 12 starts, winning £304,752. Venus de Milo is a good horse. At 3 and 4, 2nd in the Irish Oaks, classic placed, and also placed in the Yorkshire Oaks. So dual Group 1 placed at 3, and also a Group 3 and listed winner. She won the Naas Oaks trial at Naas, surprisingly enough, and she also won the Group 3 Give Thanks Stakes, which I think that COR will be Cork. Another 2 Group 1 placed efforts at 4 in the Pretty Polly Stakes and the Nassau, and she also added another Group 3 victory at 4, winning the Munster Oaks. So yeah, dual Group 3 unlisted winner, 4-time Group 1 placed, Venus de Milo. And she is the dam of a horse that people might remember winning the Chester Cup a few years back, Cleveland, also sired by Camelot. This is a rarity here where thoroughbred pedigree query is actually behind the racing post. So I knew this horse had won a pattern race, and I was confirmed it had. It won in 2023. It won the Mooney Valley Gold Cup, a Group 2, over 1 mile, 4.5 furlongs. But the form, if they're saying the best run it has had in its life, is when it's ran to 114 twice, where it was 5th in the Tancred Stakes behind Arapaho in Australia, and it was also 2nd behind Gear Up in the Group 3 Ballyroan Stakes at Leopardstown back in 2022. But that's not bad form now. Coltrane, it beat Coltrane and Neck in the Chester Cup of 2022. And Coltrane proved to be a pattern race horse. And so did this. winning, finally winning, and it's hard fair to say, in Australia. The horse had a few goes, and for them to pay out 11-2 after all them pattern races, luckily not involving me in any of them really. I think I backed it that day, and then when it went to Australia, I sort of said it'll have to win there to prove to me. Might have backed it both them days actually after it won at Chester. And then it went on the Australian roller coaster. And you can see it's had a lot more runs than it has paid out, which is the problem with a lot of these Australian horses. But yeah, Venus de Milo and Cleveland, a little branch quite closely related to the dam of our horse. The second dam, foaled in 2003, is called Inch Mahome, as we said, sired by the great stallion himself, Galileo, out of Inchmurrin. Foaled in 1985. This horse really looks quite average, winning only one of 6 starts and under £3,000 on the track. Obviously, a definite lack of pattern race form there with a record such as that. But being out of Inchmurrin, she is related to some very good horses. The best of which, arguably, is Inchinor, foaled in 1990, sired by Ahonura, out of a dam again, called Inchmurrin. Inchinor won half of his 5 starts, 5 of 10 starts, in the first 3 in 7 of 10 starts, winning £247,339. Not really a classic horse, though. Second in the Dewhurst. At 3, managed to win a trial when he won the Group 3 Greenham. The horse, in fact, is a triple Group 3 winner, winning the Criterion Stakes and the Hungerford Stakes, as well being placed in the Group 1 Sussex Stakes and the Group 2 Celebration Mile. He was 4th. So a dual Group 1 placed, triple Group 3 winner, was a stallion for a while, sadly died in October 2003. But we can see through Aryan pedigree and a stallion called Power, who is actually out of an Inchinor dam called Frappe. The Inchinor himself sired 29 stakes winners out of 492 foals, 442 raced, and 281 of them did win. 29 stakes winners sired. Decent enough stallion, I think it's fair to say. Any horse that sires over, say, 15 stakes winners is decent. About 450, wasn't it? 490 horses to get 29 stakes horses. You could arguably be expecting a little bit more from how many horses there was. In Cheney is another one. This one, sired by Nashwan, managed to win 2 of her 8 starts, placed in half of them, winning £38,515. You'll see there that In Cheney did win the listed Ballymacole Stud Stakes at 3, and she was also another one that ran in a classic trial, placed in the Group 3 Nellgwyn Stakes at Newmarket in 2004. Also third in the Conqueror Stakes. Group 3 place listed winner. That was also out of Inchmurrin. In Cheney, Ngozi is quite an interesting one. Ngozi was placed better in 5 of her 10 starts, winning twice, only managing to win £20,644. Ngozi was foaled in 1991, sired by Warning, out of a dam again, Inchmurrin. Ngozi was placed in what is now known as the Group 3 Atalanta Stakes, placed in a listed race those days. And she was placed in it. But what she did is she bred some nice horses, Ngozi. She had a nice little line of her own going on again, a bit like the dam in the first one. Miss Keller, very interesting horse. Miss Keller raced 24 times, winning 6 of them in the first 3 in 12 of 24 starts, winning $1,254,805 American dollars, foaled in 2006, sired by Monsieur. You'll see there, good horse in America, Miss Keller, managing to win a Group 1 at 5 when she won actually in Canada, the EP Taylor Stakes at 5. At 3, she was second in the Group 3 Valley View Stakes at Keeneland. And at 4, she managed to win the Group 2 Canadian Stakes at Woodbine. She was also placed in the EP Taylor then as well. Second in 2 Group 2s also at Woodbine and Saratoga. So she was placed actually third in the Ballston Spa Handicap and the Churchill Distaff Turf Mile. Group 1 winner though at 5 and also a Group 2 winner at 4. Very interesting horse. Miss Keller, never really knew she existed until I looked at this line. She hasn't really bred much, unfortunately, that I could find. Cotsey is another one out of Ngozi, foaled in 2005, sired by Nayef. Only in the first 2 in 3 of her 7 starts, winning once, £38,852. You'll see there that Cotsey was placed in 2 listed races, placed in the Group 2 Fashion Mayhill Stakes, and she was also placed in the listed Swettenham Oaks Trial at Newbury, trained by Ed Vaughan. I don't know if she had her all through her career. Cotsey is another one out of Ngozi, sired by Nayef. We also have to touch on now Harbour Law, really. Ngozi is the second dam of the stallion, Harbour Law, and a classic winner, Harbour Law. Sired down to a dam called Abonai, who was foaled by Pivotal. You'll see the Inchmo in the third dam of this horse. Harbour Law won 3 of his 8 starts in the first in 6 of 8, winning £474,481. People see there the winner of the 2016 Group 1 St Ledger, also third in the Ascot Gold Cup and second in the Queen's Vase at Royal Ascot. The Ascot Gold Cup of 2014. The horse was third. Very good horse, Harbour Law. At stud, private fee, standing at Batsford Stud. At the minute, Harbour Law, people will see there's had 1 crop of only 4 runners have ran at the moment, and none of them have won. But they are starting now to get on the ground. But yeah, hopefully, you never know, only £507 won by the progeny of Harbour Law. At this point, I don't know if it's Simon Jumps horses or National Hunt horses or what. But yeah, there's had 3, maybe probably looking at that, National Hunt horses. It's had 4 run at 4 and 1 run at 3. No 2-year-old has hit the track at this stage. Very good horse, Harbour Law, without any shadow of a doubt. Classic winner. Ursa Major is another one. And we're on to a different dam now. Inchire is the dam in question now. Inchire out of Shirley Heights and also out of Inchmowen. Ursa Major, sired by Galileo in 2009. Was a pretty good horse, really, in the first 2 in 6 of his 8 starts in his career, winning £113,351. Didn't really run at the higher level, though. Won the Group 3 Irish St Ledger Trial of 2012 at stud in the Ukraine, as far back in 2014. This horse, not a bad horse at all. Another one on the Inchmire line is Inchberry, who ran a massive race when priced at 100 to 1 in a classic where she was 4th in the UK Oaks of 2003. She was also placed in the listed Silver Tankard Stakes. And despite being a maiden, she was in the first 3 in 4 of her 8 starts, although sadly she never won, winning £37,402. But that belted run in a classic watch site surely makes her worthy of at least a little mention in this video. We're still on Inchire now with Inchiri. Inchiri was a bit of a hit or miss horse, really, only in the first 3 in 4 of her 12 starts, but she did win twice, winning £44,182. This mare, foaled in 1998, sired by Sadler's Wells out of Inchire. You'll see this one won the listed Galtra Stakes at York, which is a good race. I do say that these days, so the horse would have been decent to win that race on that day. And we have to say Inchire herself was not really that great on the track. She only won 1 of 5 starts, and in the first 2, once more, for £7,400. So she wasn't really top class herself. We've got to touch on Malabar, without any shadow of a doubt now, in Jaya. The second dam of Malabar foaled in 2012. Malabar, again, another bit of hit and miss horse in the first 2 in 4 of 12 starts, winning £135,514, sired by Ravens Pass, out of a dam called Whirly Bird. People see there that Malabar managed to win 2 Group 3 races. She won the Prestige Stakes at 2, and she won the Thoroughbred Stakes at Goodwood at 3. Bit of a Goodwood course specialist. Another one that was 4th in a classic, 4th in the 1,000 guineas of 2015 at Newmarket. And she was also 4th in another 2 Group 1s at 2, the Moriglaire Stud Stakes and the Prix Marcel Boussac. Not a bad horse. And she was not a bad dam either. She was the dam of Tiber Flow. Or is the dam of Tiber Flow. Foaled in 2019, sadly gelded. This horse sired by Caravaggio, out of a dam, obviously Malabar. Making Inchmurray in the 4th, Dam in Chai the 3rd, Whirly Bird the 2nd. Tiber Flow's won 7 of his 17 races. Pretty good record. And in the first 3, 10 of 17, winning £261,922. This horse has won a pattern race this year. It won the Hungerford Stakes, Group 2, this year at Newbury recently. And it's also won the John of Gaunt Stakes, Group 3 as well. Last year it was a Group 3 winner as well in the Chick Stakes. And at 3, it was a listed winner in the Carnarvon Stakes. Has this horse got more to give? The gelding is doing well. They've campaigned it well. Group 2 and dual Group 3 and listed winner, the gelding. Tiber Flow in training with Willie Agus. That is a recent one going round. So they do improve with age. You can see that. This horse has done well. Tiber Flow, and Malabar was a good dam herself. Whirly Bird is also the dam of Poet's Word. Inchmurray in the 3rd dam of Poet's Word. Never knew that until I made this video. Poet's Word was a top class older horse, sired by Poet's Voice. Won 7 of his 17 starts. The horse was actually only out of the first 2 in 3 of 17 starts, winning £2,951,329. We're getting some decent horses now, aren't we? Poet's Word at 3, though, never really did anything. This is a classic watch site, as people know. But it was at 4 and 5. He really kicked in at 4. He's a Group 3 winner. He won the Glorious Stakes and hinted at what was to come with 2 placed efforts at Group 1 level in the Irish Champion Stakes and the Champion Stakes in the UK. And at 5, he did win some races, didn't he? He won 2 Group 1s. He won the Prince of Wales at Royal Ascot. And he also won the King George. He also won the Group 3 Brigadier Gerard Stakes as well. Dual Group 1 and Dual Group 3 winner. Second in another 2 Group 1s. The Dubai Shima Classic and the International at Juddmonte. Standing as stirred, really, as a national hunt horse now. Did get off to a start where he did sire a few flat horses. But at stud now, mainly, as a national hunt horse. People will see. He sired 21 foals only as a flat horse. And 13 of them have ran and 18 of them have won 18 races. And 179 in the next year as a national hunt horse. So no flat demand at all for this stallion. Poet's Word, it's fair to say. No stakes analysis. 7 brave souls. 7 have ran at 2. Incredibly. That must have been from the first crop. Someone thought, we've got a bit of pace here. We'll stick a bit of stamina in there. Unfortunately, that's failed to work. Mainly of his runners have been in Great Britain, Ireland. Both runners to have won in Italy have won, although it's taken them 30 runs to do it. All in all, a sire really that is looking as though his national hunt career will have to save him as a stallion. Progeny there. Second in the nursery, Zabi on the flat. A couple of them have won twice. Lady of Arabia has won 4 times. Fair play to her. But yeah, I think that if the stallion is going to be any good, I think it's safe to say that the best is yet to come. Beckford, an interesting horse, foaled in 2015, sired by Bated Breath. Whirly Dancer, a different dam this time. Whirly Bird still the second dam, and Inchire the third, Inchmo in the fourth. Good dam, Inchire, in her own right, isn't she? A few have descended out of there. Beckford raced 11 times in the first two in 5 of 11 starts, winning £246,763 in Ireland, the Great Britain, and the USA. Beckford actually won the Railway Stakes of 2017. Group 2 winner. Was also second in 2 Group 1s at 2, the Phoenix and the National Stakes in Ireland. And he was a stakes winner at 3 in the William Walker Stakes out at Churchill Downs in America. People telling me this horse is at stud. I can find very little evidence of Aryan pedigree. But it did sire a couple of horses. I don't know if the horses had fertility issues or what. But I couldn't find its known as a stud in. It's telling me it was standing there, a Newtown and a stud on the Racing Post. Very few horses sired by it have hit the track. So I don't know what the horse is doing these days. But yeah, very good horse on the track, Beckford. He sure was. Group 2 winner. Group 1 place, Group 2 winner. Very good horse. Now, finally, we get to Inchmoin herself after all that. Inchmoin, the third dam of the horse. Is she the Lion in Winter? Yes. Foaled in 1985, sired by Lomond. Out of a dam foaled in 1978 called On Show. People see Inchmoin's a good horse. Inchmoin was in the first 2 in 8 of her 12 starts, winning 6 of them, winning £162,324. Very good 2-year-old Inchmoin, dual listed winner at 2. She won the Harry Rosebery Stakes and the Venus Phyllis Stakes. Group 2 winner at 3 over a mile, where she won the Group 2 Child Stakes at Newmarket. And she was also Group 1 placed in the Coronation Stakes at Royal Ascot in 1988. And she was also 4th in the EP Taylor Stakes the same year, trained by Jeff Ragg. Very good horse. Sadly put down in July 2004 after suffering cancer of the head and neck. Yeah, very good horse. Inchmoin on her day. Very good. Heard another decent 2-year-old that was related to her. Trained by Jeff Ragg, Welney, a gelding, born in 1987, sired by Habitat. Half-sister to Inchmoin, sired by On Show. Only won 2 of his 6 starts, but he did win £160,458. And that was because he is the winner of the 1990 Mill Reef Stakes at Newbury. Again, some speedy 2-year-olds in this pedigree, isn't there? You know, which bodes well for some of the others that I've looked at that didn't manage to beat the Lion in Winter at York. Also, Guest Artiste, a mare, foaled in 1986, sired by Be My Guest, out of On Show as well. Guest Artiste won 2 of her 9 starts, but she was in the first 3 in 6 of her 9 starts, only winning £39,292 in Great Britain. But Guest Artiste did win. No, she didn't. She was placed at Group 1 and Group 2 level. She was also another one placed in the Coronation Stakes, this time in 1989. And she was also placed in the Child Stakes, the race won by one of the other mares that we've just looked at. So, yeah, very interesting. They all seem to be campaigned very similar when they get to a high level. Milers, aren't they? It's looking like we might not have an Oaks candidate, which is strange, being by Sea the Stars. If this one stays a mile and a half, this is breaking new ground with this damn line, isn't it? It's fair to say. And we've had a couple that were placed in the Oaks, haven't we? We had that one that was placed in the Oaks at 100 to 1, didn't we? Yeah, very interesting horse, this one. Balisada we have to look at. On Show is the second dam of Balisada through a horse called Balnaha. Balisada was foaled in 1996, winning 2 of her 8 starts. But again, quite a good way of being in the first 3. In the first 3, 6 of her 8 starts, winning £180,125. This site's so clunky. Balisada, sired by Chris. In 1996, Balisada was a good horse. Man, had managed to win the Coronation Stakes. A couple we've seen others placed in it, Ballysada won the Carnation Stakes of 1999. Second in the Falmouth, which was then a Group 2 race. Listed Conqueror Stakes, also second. Fourth in another Group 1 races. The Sussex Stakes and the Queen Elizabeth II. This is a miler. This horse could be a top-class miler. The Lion in Winter looking at the pedigree. Will it stay further? Or if it does, people could really be in business with this horse. They improve with age to see the stars, don't they? As well, in my view. And they stay? Do they ever? I mean, this horse could be incredible. It's currently unbeaten. Very nice pedigree, hasn't it? Ballysada herself. Sired a couple of decent horses. Galactic Star. Foaled in 2003, sired by Galileo out of Ballysada. Galactic Star raced 20 times. Durable horse in the first three in 8 of 20 starts, winning £93,976. Very average horse, really, by pattern levels, some of them we've looked at. But you'll see they did manage to win the listed Godolphin Stakes over 1.5 miles. So this one did stay a bit and was placed at Group 2 and Group 3 level, sired by Galileo. Of course, See the Stars Fall brother. This horse is going to stay, isn't it? This horse is going to stay, you would think. Very interesting horse. Oh no, Galileo wasn't by Cape Cross, was he? Half brother. Galileo, of course, by Sadler's Wells. And See the Stars by Cape Cross. That's how you produce two vastly different sides, you see. Just tweak them a little bit. And you've got two vastly different stallions on the same line. Superb breeding, without any shadow of a doubt. So yeah, this Galileo one seemed to stay 1.5 miles all right, didn't it? Very interesting it was in 2008, so I was standing as a stallion in Pakistan. I've got to mention El Salvador, a horse born in 2009, another one sired by Galileo, which at some point did sire some national hunt horses. Never won a pattern race, though, El Salvador. Won 23 times in the first three, in 16 of 23 times, winning £15,909 and €139,282. Another one sired by Galileo out of Ballysada. They had a good go with this horse. They kept it going for a very long time. Managed to get it placed in 4 listed races. Placed again in the Lenbane Stakes, and then the Vintage Crop Stakes, the Savile Beg Stakes at 4. Then it was placed at 5 when second in the Martin Maloney Stakes, just over 1.5 miles. Yeah, very unfortunate not to win a pattern race. Placed in 4 listed races, and they're siring as far back as 2018 as a national hunt horse. Not seen many come through yet, because he never showed up on when I looked for the stallion, when I looked for the dam. An African Dancer was the 4th dam of it. So it would have shown up on Aryan pedigrees if the horse was still at stud, or they'd registered with Aryan pedigrees. So I'm not sure whether it is or not. Time will tell if it is or not. Yeah, another very interesting horse. Ballysada and El Salvador. On to the 4th dam now. Foaled in 1978 on show. Sired by Welsh Pageant, out of a dam called African Dancer. This one here, not much on the track, really. Placed 3 times out of 7 starts, only managing to win once. No one even bothered keeping record of how much the horse won, which would indicate to me it didn't win a lot. She sadly died in 1999, and obviously she is one hell of a black type producer. Her and her daughter, her daughters and relatives of her daughters as well. Absolutely superb. Part of the puzzle there. And I found one that was out of the 5th dam related to a gelding that Godolphin used to train, Fight Your Corner. Foaled in 1999, sired by Mutaram. People will see that African Dancer is the 2nd dam of this one, the dam Dame Ashfield. Foaled in 1980. Mutaram placed in 10 of his 18 starts. He did win 6 races, managing to win £214,576 in Great Britain and the UAE. People see their decent 2-year-old winning the listed Autumn Stakes. It also won the Chester Vase, Group 3 of 2002. It also won a Group 2, age 6, in 2005. The Henry II Stakes at Sandown. So this horse did stay 2 miles. And it was also second in the listed Aston Park Stakes at Newbury, sired by Mutuam. So, yeah, top-class milers with a bit of stamina in between. What more would people want? With a classic watch horse sight, eh? This horse could be anything. Really glad that this horse managed to win the other day. It was a different stallion, see the stars that we've had before. Really. And, yeah, very interesting horse. We'll take a look at the fifth dam quickly. Foaled in 1973. African dancer sired by the great Nijinsky out of a dam called Meba. And again, no record of how much money the horse won, but she did win twice in 12 starts and finished in the first three in 5 of her 12 starts. She must have won a fair few quid. Look, she was actually placed in the Oaks. The fifth dam was placed in the Oaks, so there's the stamina that people would directly want on the dam line as well. If they were looking at these things, this is an incredible pedigree, really, isn't it? Placed in the 1976 Yorkshire Epsom Oaks, as well as the Group 3 Lancashire Oaks, second in the Yorkshire Oaks, and winner of an Oaks trial, the Group 3 Cheshire Oaks, and the Group 2 Park Hill Stakes winner. What a pedigree this horse has. Beautiful horse, the Lion in Winter, fantastically bred, and currently unbeaten. You know, we've got some very good prospects. We've only got 2 UK horses, Henri Matisse and the Lion in Winter, UK and Ireland horses, whatever you want to call them, European horses. We're not even on safe ground there, are we? Because we'll upset the Brexit brigade by saying Britain is in Europe. Oh, my word. But what a horse we've got here, without any shadow of a doubt. All we need to do now really is look at it on the historic dam line 7A. We found Arbor Law, didn't we? But sadly, the lady passed away before Arbor Law won his classic, which is a shame because she'd have extended that section nicely for us. Could have had a couple of Dutch Derby winners. I thought the case had been well and truly made before then. But then she's also related to Rockfell. Rockfell, the Guineas and Oaks winner of 1938. Quite close. Well, not really. Rockfell is a bit off Rockcliffe. So, yeah, he's there. Rockfell is there, lurking in the distant past of this damn line. Great Britain and Oaks winner of 1938. Just in case people didn't think they had enough quality in this video already. Very interesting horse. Obviously, we've seen some damn lines that I've got plenty of classic winners on. This one hasn't really. Just the one I found in the modern day. But that's one more than I probably would have found last week. You know, my searches of horses are improving all the time. You know, every week I learn off people, and things are getting better. And this horse, I'd have identified it anyway. But when I had what I considered to be a secondary look, based on what I saw other people doing with modern day horses, then yeah, Poet's Word and a couple of other good horses revealed themselves. So yeah, very interesting. All we need to do now is watch the horse win. I did say in the last video that if the horse was unbeaten or he'd won a few starts, we can watch them all. We don't need to limit ourselves to just one race, do we? Let's watch as many races as we can in these videos. And this is the debut of the Lion in Winter at the Curragh.
They're loaded from the Oaks weekend opener, and that off over 7 furlongs. Out slowly was Buck Battle. This is the opening Judmont Caldine EBF maiden, and it is Cutterwood Prominent, followed by Shoe Phoenix. Away to the inside is Newman. Right with the leaders is High Favour. More to the middle of the track is Eyes of March, who's followed by Political Power, Dakota Blue, The Lion in Winter, and Hand Me Down Me Bible. A couple of lengths clear of Buck Barrow. Nudged along is Tiger Kitten on the outside of Ryback. Inside the 5 furlong point, and the leader is just Cutterwood in the white cap. From Eyes of March, followed by Newman, and then High Favour, Political Power on the outside of Dakota Blue, and then The Lion in Winter, Shoe Phoenix, Hand Me Down My Bible, with a clear break now peering back to Buck Barrow, Tiger Kitten and Ryback. Precious little between Cutterwood and Eyes of March, a length in front of Newman with less than 3 furlongs to go. Ridden up on the outside is Political Power. These are being followed to the final 2.5 furlongs by Dakota Blue, who's beginning a run ahead of High Favour. In the centre is The Lion in Winter, and a breakdown of a few lengths to Hand Me Down My Bible as they've got 1.5 furlongs to go. And battling it out are Cutterwood and Eyes of March, kicking away from a running on The Lion in Winter, and then Dakota Blue, who's followed by Newman as they get strung out inside the final half furlong furlong, and still nothing between Cutterwood, Ides of March, but quickening up in style is the Line in Winter to cut them all down. And it's the Line in Winter winning by a widening 3 legs from Cutterwood, Ides of March and Dakota Blue.
You know what? This horse is brilliant, isn't it? You know, we've seen the pedigree of it. You know, and it has just scythed them down like a knife through butter, hasn't it, on debut? That was a good ride from Wayne Lorden. I don't get to say that very often, but it was. Very good ride. You can see him nurse the horse into it at separate stages of the race when he'd made his decisions that the horse was still going to be competitive. And it scythed through him. Because I imagine they might have thought, they'd have obviously worked the horse and they knew it was decent-ish to run it. But they might have thought it might have needed a bit more time just by the stallion it had been by, I would say. I don't speak to these people. They will never confirm that to the likes of me. But very good performance on debut, I think. Then we had to wait a while. Then we had to wait nearly over a month, just over a month, before it turned up at York in the Group 3 Acomb Stakes. Over 7 furlongs, the same trip as it won at on debut, but a big step up in class. And we know what it did now because this video exists, but it's all about how it does it.
Runners are ready. 11 runners lined up and off and racing over this 7 furlong trip. A nice even break as well. The Tattersalls Acomb Stakes Group 3, the richest juvenile Group 3 in Europe, underway. In a straight line for the first 2.5, with Yarug on the outside of the Line in Winter, who sits very handy, and the Waco Kid on the rail is with the leading 3 as well. They're tracked then by the white cap of Wimbledon Hawkeye and the yellow jacket. Jouncey's pink cap is next. Then the royal blue colours of Ruling Court. The next group then Urban Sky, Rajeko with Mr. Chaplin and Wider on the wing. There is Diablo Rocco at this stage. Our Terms in last place, but travelling pretty well as they come down the home straight, and they've gone now towards the halfway point of the contest with 5 lengths separating them. The Line in Winter with a narrow advantage from the Waco Kid. Yarug shaken up. Coming into it now is Ruling Court on the outside. Also, Diablo Rocco is moving strongly in the purple as they race up towards the final quarter mile in the Tattersalls Acomb. The Line in Winter is the one in front at this stage. Here comes Ruling Court and Will Buick on the outside. Battling bravely, Wimbledon Hawkeye on the inside. The Line in Winter is pulling out a bit more, and he's still got a break of 2 lengths on Ruling Court in second. The Line in Winter and Ryan Moore made just about every yard, and the Line in Winter toughs it out in the Acomb at York in the summer and wins well in second. Wimbledon Hawkeye, Ruling Court, and then these were clear of the Waco Kid, about 3 lengths behind in fourth.
I think people have to say that was another very, very good performance. Ruling Court is another one actually by Inchmurrin on that day. That was the Battle of the Inchmurrins, that race. Ruling Court, luckily, unfortunately for followers of Ruling Court, wasn't good enough on the day, and it went off at a bookie's price. You know, if people looked at these horses properly, they'd have known they were very closely related. You know, you might well have been backing the same horse. But the Line in Winter on the day produced, and that Ruling Court, you've seen that if that horse can improve, then that's not without a shout, is it, Ruling Court? That is one on the maybe list. Needs to win a pattern race now and maybe a trial at 3, because it's been put in its place there by a horse very closely related to it. So it could be tricky for Ruling Court, but yeah, what a performance by the Line in Winter at York. Equally as impressive, I think, as its debut at the Curragh. Right, I think we can end this video now and all go and sit in a dark room now. We've had a proper look at that horse. It took nearly 45 minutes, and I think every minute of it is just loaded with information and loaded with an opportunity for people to learn about these horses. Right, I'm going to end this video now. What I will do is we've still only got 4 horses on the Classic Watch 25 playlist, so I will link the Classic Watch 24 possibles. People might be able to squeeze a bit of St. Ledger value out of the Classic Watch 24 horses nearer the time of the Ledger. The Ledger winner or Ledger runners might even already be on the site if they've already been identified, or if they've already ran in previous classics. But yeah, very interesting. We've got sprint week this week, isn't it? Haydock Sprint Cup, 6 furlongs, heavy ground usually. Not really a race for me. But this is just the obligatory 30-second waffle, really, for the end screen. What I will also do is I'll give everybody an opportunity that has watched this video and has chosen not to subscribe to the channel, an opportunity to do so. But for now, take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Hopefully, plenty more to come from the Lion in Winter. But for now, I'll say goodbye. Goodbye.